Good morning, everybody. Mike Vaki, Princetontrader.com, here with your Monday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, so we expanded. Let's just do a little bit of a review. Last day of July, right? Upper band ride, 9-day, simple moving average held, up to make, what I would call, I wouldn't call it a marginal higher high. Well, you got 79.75 versus 80.75. So you made it an all-time high. Then you made a marginal all-time high. They rejected off that a little bit. Now it's kind of flagging up off of here, and then you got to, then it becomes kind of perspective based, right? If you're a bear, you say, well, we're going to bear flag and we're going to fall here. If you're a bull, you're like, well, here we go again. You got higher lows. It's just a matter of time before we take out 80 half. I think a lot of which camp is going to be correct in that statement is going to have to do with the weekly pivot. Weekly pivot comes in at 24.69 and change, and it was tested last night. They traded below it last night. They traded as low as 66, 67s, and you wake up this morning and we're trading 74. So at least initially, the bulls are trying to say that the weekly pivot still wants to be support. Just like last week, just like the week before that, and as long as that's the case, we're going to be in control, and there's a lot of merit to that. The proof for the bears comes from being able to convert levels that matter and then hold them. You can trade below weekly pivot all you want, but if you can't turn it into resistance, consistently close below it, and then make lower lows, it's a situation where it's just a matter of time before you get something that looks a lot like last week. So, there's your 80 half. They took out the weekly pivot at that time by about 7 handles. They couldn't hold it into the close. So what happens? We battle over it a little bit, and then we start making higher lows. And where does this movie typically end? With a new all-time high. So as we come in Monday morning, that's definitely on the table. So for my part, I got long 64.75 Friday afternoon. Actually, Friday, it might have been late Friday morning. I took a third this morning for about 9 handles. I've got 2/3 of it left. My risk is out, and I'm going to wait and see what happens with respect to the open and whether they want to go ahead and try to squeeze them a little bit. So, we're at the last day of the month. It's been a good month. We've hit all of our targets and then some. So, to the extent I could spend the last day of the month kind of letting this trade work would be fine with me. As with any Monday morning, I want to be patient. I want to see how the market opens. I've got a little bit more of a clue this morning than I normally do, simply because we've been messing around with weekly pivot all night. Should we go back and test it in the light of day? Yeah, probably. I mean, that's pretty typical. If they can't do that, then it's even more of a power move by the bulls. But if they do go back and test it, I'd like to see it either break through and become resistance or bounce. I don't want to get into a last day of the month, let's chop around the weekly pivot kind of a thing today. That's always on the table, especially during the summer. All right, everybody have a fantastic day. I'll be out with a midday update in a little bit. Trade them well. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princeton Trader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade 'em well.